Hey everyone, ready to dive into some really cool stuff in B2B marketing. We're talking AI, and no, not like robots stealing marketing jobs.
Definitely not.
We're going deep,
I
going
like that.
beyond just the headline. We've got articles, research, case studies, all about how AI is really changing the game for B2B.
Yeah, it's way more than just a buzzword now.
So should we just jump right in?
Let's do it.
Okay, but before we go too far,
Mhm.
let's make sure we're all understanding the same thing when we say AI.
Yeah.
I mean, am I picturing like robots writing website copy, or is it something else?
Well, the robots aren't quite writing the next brilliant ad campaign yet, but think of it this way. AI is machines doing the things that used to take, serious brain power from us humans, like making sense of mountains of data, spotting patterns, making decisions based on those patterns, even predicting what a customer might do next. It's pretty wild.
So it's kind of like having like a superpowered assistant working behind the scenes of all your marketing.
Exactly. And that superpower is a lot of times machine learning. Basically, you feed a machine a ton of data. It could be anything,
Mhm.
customer interactions, website traffic, anything. And the machine, it learns from that data, gets better and better at predicting what's going to happen next.
Okay, I can start to see how this could be huge.
Yeah.
But can you give me a real world example of how AI is actually being used right now?
Sure. Think about lead scoring. It's something every B2B marketer is obsessed with, right?
Absolutely.
Remember the days of just like staring at spreadsheets trying to figure out who's actually interested?
The worst.
AI-powered lead scoring, it takes all those data points, all the website visits, email opens, all of it, and predicts which leads are actually going to turn into paying customers.
So instead of just, throwing stuff at the wall and hoping something sticks, it's about being really, really precise.
Exact.
That's incredible. And that's just one example, right?
Oh, there's way more. We actually found this Salesforce article, and they break down 9 ways AI is being used by B2B marketers. Some of it's like straight out of the
Donnie, you
future.
can't just leave me hanging like that. What are the 9 ways?
Get ready, because we're about to see these 9 ways in action, with some companies seeing crazy results. We've got this report here, AI and B2B, and it's full of case studies.
Okay, hit me with a good one.
So there's this company, ServiceMax. They do field service management software, and they had this problem. Their website was just crammed full of information.
Too much information. I've been there.
Right. So visitors, they couldn't find what they needed. It was overwhelming.
Yeah.
They partnered up with Demandbase, and they used AI to basically create this virtual guide.
Oh,
It
interesting.
checks out a visitor's industry, what they do on the site, even what content they've already looked at before.
Wow.
And then it personalizes the entire website experience just for them.
So no more just throwing everything at the wall hoping something sticks.
Nope. AI serving up exactly what that visitor needs to see.
And it worked.
Big time. They saw bounce rates drop by 70%.
Wow.
That means 70% more people were sticking around to actually learn about ServiceMax's products because the AI was showing them exactly what they needed.
Those are awesome results. So, okay, that's personalized websites. What about using AI to actually like create the content for the website itself?
There's a case study about that too. VMware, the tech company.
Yeah, I know VMware.
They had a ton of content, like articles, blog posts, the works.
Content overload.
Exactly. They knew they needed a way to create even more, but keep it high quality and do it fast.
Soft problem.
Right. So they started using Acrolinks. It's an AI-powered content platform.
What does that even do?
Imagine like a whole bunch of editors all working at once, but they're AI.
Okay.
It does the boring stuff, checks your grammar, makes sure everything matches your brand, even optimizes for SEO.
Stuff that would take forever to do manually.
Exactly.
So it frees up the human writers to be more creative.
Yeah. And Acrolinks, it also gives them data on how the content is performing so they can keep getting better.
So it's like data-driven content creation.
Exactly.
I love it. Okay, so we've got personalized websites, AI writing content. What else?
Remember that AI chatbot, Artie, from Artesian?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
AI brand ambassador. They made their brand come to life with AI, right?
Right. And get this, since launching RT, their website traffic has gone up by 11%.
That's huge.
It gets bigger. They quadrupled their pool of potential customers.
What? Quadrupled. Okay, this is why everyone is going crazy about AI.
It's the real deal.
Yeah, but these just a few examples. I want to know what's next. What's the future of AI in B2B marketing?
The future. Well, imagine this. No more batch and blast marketing. Like, it's gone. People finally realize that treating your audience like a bunch of robots is, well, it's not a good look.
So no more of those generic emails that make you want to unsubscribe.
Exactly. The future is all about giving people what they actually want right when they need it, like those super specific recommendations you get on streaming services.
Yeah, yeah.
But for everything, your website, your content, it'll all be tailored to each person.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
But I mean, can we talk about data for a second? Because isn't all this like personalized stuff, isn't it completely reliant on having a ton of data?
You're totally right. Data is the key to all of this. If you don't have good data, and a lot of it, well, you're not going to be able to do much with AI. The marketers who figure out how to get that data, how to organize it, and how to actually use it, they're the ones who are going to win.
So it's like, okay, you've got this incredibly powerful tool, AI, but you need to know how to use it. Otherwise, it's useless.
Perfect analogy. Marketers need to become data experts. They need to be able to analyze it, pull out the important stuff, and then use that to make decisions.
Use the data to actually make the marketing better.
Exactly.
But with all this talk about algorithms and data, it's easy to forget that marketing is about people.
So true. AI is a tool. It can do a lot of amazing things, but it can't replace human creativity, human empathy. That human touch is still what really matters.
AI and humans working together.
So to recap, we've got AI predicting customer journeys, powering chatbots, and now acting as a super editor. It's everywhere.
It really is transforming every aspect of B2B marketing. But with all this talk about what AI can do, it begs the question, is there a risk it stifles human creativity?
That's a really good point. It makes you wonder, if we hand over all the reins to AI, will our marketing start to feel, well, a bit robotic?
That's a valid concern. But here's a different way to look at it. What if, instead of replacing creativity, AI actually frees us up to be even more creative?
By taking care of the tedious stuff, you mean?
Exactly. Imagine offloading tasks like data analysis, A/B testing, and all those little optimizations to an AI. Suddenly you've got all this extra mental bandwidth to brainstorm those big picture ideas, the ones that really move the needle.
I like the sound of that. So it's not about AI versus human creativity. It's about finding ways for them to work together.
Exactly. There's a perfect example of this in that LinkedIn video we mentioned earlier. Remember Sherwin-Williams, the paint company?
Oh, yeah. What did they do?
Well, they used AI to help architects choose paint colors in a really unique way.
Wait, AI picking paint colors. I need details.
So they trained this AI on something pretty cool, human emotions and experiences. Architects could tell the AI what kind of feeling they wanted to create in a space, say tranquility, excitement, or focus, and the AI would suggest colors that evoked those emotions.
Whoa, that's amazing. So it's not just about aesthetics. It's like AI is tapping into the psychology of color.
Exactly. And it just goes to show that AI can help us approach creative challenges from entirely new angles, opening up possibilities we might not have even considered before.
It's mind-blowing how AI can tap into something as subjective as color and emotion. But while we're on the topic of pushing boundaries, I can't help but think about personalization. It's been a buzzword in marketing forever, but it seems like AI might actually be the key to making it, actually work.
I totally agree. For years, personalization was kind of stuck at a surface level, like just dropping someone's name into an email and calling it a day. But AI has the potential to completely change the game.
That example in the LinkedIn video with Dan, the COO, and ChatGPT really drove that point home. Remember that one?
Oh yeah, where he had ChatGPT analyze his LinkedIn profile.
Yeah. It showed how AI can take something like career advice, which can feel so generic, and make it feel truly personal.
It all comes down to data. ChatGPT wasn't just giving Dan some canned responses. It was looking at his specific profile, his experience, his goals, and using all that to offer tailored advice.
And he was blown away. He said I felt like he was talking to a career coach who actually knew him and what he wanted to achieve.
Exactly. Now imagine that level of personalization applied to every aspect of B2B marketing. We're talking about website journeys that adapt to each individual visitor, content that dynamically changes based on someone's interests, even AI-powered chatbots that feel like you're having a conversation with a real human being.
Okay, now that's a future I can get excited about. No more generic marketing blasts that just end up in the spam folder.
Exactly. It's about building real relationships, understanding your audience on a deeper level, and delivering value at every touch point. And speaking of delivering value, we should probably talk about WebTulu.
Oh, yeah. This company is doing some seriously cool stuff with AI. They're building these things called AI marketing assistants that sound like they can do just about anything a marketer could ever need.
They've got a pretty impressive suite of tools: content creation, lead qualification, competitor analysis, even reporting and analytics. It seems like they've got it all covered.
And they're all about this on-brand AI, which really piqued my interest.
It makes sense, right? One of the biggest concerns about using AI in marketing is that it will create this generic robotic content that doesn't sound authentic to your brand.
Exactly. But it sounds like WebTulu has cracked the code on making sure that any content generated by their AI actually sounds like it came from, well, you.
From what I've seen, their AI can adapt to any brand, voice, tone, and style, so you don't have to sacrifice your brand identity for the sake of efficiency.
That's huge. So it's like having an AI assistant who is also branding expert, making sure everything stays consistent and authentic. Do they have like different AI assistants for different tasks, or is it more of a one-size-fits-all kind of thing?
It looks like they have a bunch of different AI assistants that are specialized for different needs.
Yeah.
So you can choose the tools that are the best fit for what you're trying to achieve.
Smart. So it's not about replacing marketers altogether. It's about giving them the tools to be even better at what they do. But do we know if this stuff actually works? Are there companies out there seeing real results with WebTulu?
From what I've seen, they have tons of positive testimonials from clients who are seeing amazing results. Like one marketing agency said that WebTulu helped them triple their content output without hiring any additional staff. And their clients were happier too because the content was more personalized and engaging.
Wow, that's impressive. It sounds like WebTulu is doing a great job of taking those high-level AI capabilities and turning them into practical solutions that B2B marketers can actually use.
Absolutely. They're really leading the charge in making AI accessible and beneficial for businesses of all sizes. That Salesforce article you sent defines AI as machines basically thinking like humans, but of course it's a lot more nuanced than that.
For sure, no robots leading our marketing meetings yet.
Exactly. Really, it's more about machines learning from data and making decisions based on that. Think about like recommendation algorithms. So Netflix seems to know what you want to watch before you even do. That's AI in action, using what you watched before to predict what you'll want next. And at its core, it's all about this field called machine learning. It's like, imagine feeding a huge amount of marketing data, customer interactions, campaign results, even market trends, feeding that into a system that can analyze it insanely fast. That's the power of machine learning, and it's changing how we approach marketing completely.
And you know what's so fascinating? The technology isn't even new. Remember that LinkedIn for marketing video, the one with Pac-Man? Believe it or not, those were early examples of AI.
It's true. AI has been around. But what's different now is how accessible and practical it's gotten. That ketchup bottle effect from a video, that's what we're seeing. Like we finally figured out how to open the bottle, and the potential is just like exploding out.
It's like, I don't know if you remember, but when I first started using Spotify, all of a sudden I had all this music, personalized recommendations, those curated playlists. It felt revolutionary, and you know what? It kind of was. And that's the same feeling I get about AI for B2B marketing. It just feels like there's so much potential. What do you think?
Absolutely. And what's amazing is that we're seeing real results already, not just possibilities for the future. And then there's Ingersoll Rand. They're personalizing campaigns not just on demographics or job titles, but on real-time stuff, like the weather. So let's say a hailstorm just hit a certain area, their AI picks up on it, and boom, targeted messages to businesses in that region. Roof repair, HVAC system checks, you name it.
Being in the right place at the right time, that's what it's all about. It's incredible. But we have to be realistic. All that hyper-personalized content takes a lot of work, right? Time, resources, and that's where AI's other strength comes in content creation.
Absolutely.
I have to admit, at first I was thinking about the transparency issue. How do we know what's going on behind the scenes?
That's a great point, and one that doesn't get talked about enough in all the AI hype. It's easy to think of AI like this magical black box. Put data in, get results out, but you don't know how it works. That lack of transparency can make people hesitant, especially in B2B where trust is so important, right?
For sure. If we're going to let AI do its thing, we need to know it's making good decisions, ethical decisions. We have to be able to trust the process.
Exactly. That's why I found that LinkedIn for marketing videos so interesting. They talked about how companies, even LinkedIn, are making transparency and ethical AI a priority. It's not just about building cool tech anymore. It's about building trust with customers and making sure AI is used ethically.
It's like any relationship, right? Trust needs transparency and open communication. You need to know where you stand, what to expect. And for AI, that means understanding how it makes decisions and what data it uses.
You got it. It's about Getting rid of that black box idea and
Wow.
being more transparent so we understand why AI makes the recommendations it does.
Okay, so we've talked about all the awesome things AI can do for B2B marketing, but we know there are challenges too. So, how do we figure this out? How do we tell the hype from reality and use AI in a way that's effective and responsible?
That is the million-dollar question, and it's one we're going to dig into even deeper right after this.
Okay, so we've seen the potential, we've talked about being transparent, but how do we actually use this stuff? If you're listening, you're probably thinking, this all sounds great, but where do I even start with AI in my work?
It's the big question, right? And I think Dan Gardner, in one of the articles you shared, he said something that really stuck with me. Don't just silo AI, strategize it.
Strategize. Okay, so what does that look like in practice?
It's about not thinking of AI as this like quick fix, but as a really important tool that you need to integrate into your whole marketing strategy. A lot of times, companies get so caught up in the hype, they just chase the latest AI gadget without really knowing what they need it for.
So don't go buy a fancy new coffee maker just because it has Bluetooth if you don't even like lattes.
Exactly. Start with what's not working. Where are the pain points in your process? Is it lead generation, content creation, personalization? Once you know what needs fixing, then you can look at AI tools that actually address those problems.
Find the right tool for the job, not the other way around.
Exactly. And once you've got your tools, don't be afraid to play around with them. Start small, try different things, see what works. Sometimes those aha moments happen when you least expect it, just by trying something new.
That makes sense.
Right.
I remember when I first started with this podcast, it was all about experimenting. I had no clue what I was doing, but I just started trying different mics, software, editing, just messing around until I found what worked. And that's what I think people need to do with AI too. Just jump in.
It's a great comparison. AI in marketing is still changing so fast. There's no one right answer, no magic formula. Be open to experimenting and learning as you go. Something that works now might not work next year, and that's okay. Be curious, stay flexible, always be ready to adapt.
So it's not just about the technology changing, it's our mindset too, right? We have to be data-driven, always looking for ways to improve, open to new possibilities.
Well said. And remember, AI is only going to keep getting smarter, more powerful. The sooner you start learning about it, the sooner you can use it to shape the future of your marketing.
This has been super insightful. But I'm curious, with all this talk about AI and its potential, what advice would you give to B2B marketers who might be feeling a little overwhelmed, maybe even intimidated by it all?
That's a great question. I think the most important thing is to approach AI with curiosity, not fear. This technology is still evolving, and there's a lot to learn.
So don't be afraid to get your hands dirty, experiment a little, and see what works best for you.
Exactly. Start by identifying your biggest pain points as a marketer. What tasks are taking up the most time? What areas could you improve? And then see if there are AI tools that can help. You might be surprised at what's out there.
Yeah, it feels like we're just scratching the surface of what AI can do for B2B marketing. It's exciting, but yeah, I get it. It can also feel a bit overwhelming with how fast things are changing.
Absolutely. But, instead of getting overwhelmed, maybe we should think of it like this incredible wave of innovation that we get to ride.
I like that analogy, catch the AI wave. But
Yeah.
seriously, for B2B marketers who are just dipping their toes into AI, what's the most important thing to keep in mind?
Hmm, that's a good question. I think it's easy to get caught up in all the hype, you know. But at the end of the day, AI is just a tool.
Right, it's not about replacing humans altogether.
Exactly. It's about figuring out how to use these new tools in a way that makes us, as marketers, even better at what we do.
So how do we do that? Where do we even start?
Well, first things first, don't be afraid to experiment.
Trial and error, right.
Exactly. Try things out, see what works, what doesn't. And don't be afraid to ask questions.
There are so many resources out there now, too.
Right. And the AI landscape is constantly evolving, so it's all about staying curious and learning as you go.
It's about finding that sweet spot where human creativity and intuition meet the power of AI. Because at the end of the day, B2B marketing is still about connecting with people, building relationships.
Absolutely. And if AI can help us do that in a more personalized, relevant, and impactful way, well, that's a win in my book.
Couldn't agree more. So to wrap things up, if AI can personalize like this, create content, analyze data so quickly and accurately, Imagine what it will be able to do 5, 10 years down the line. It's exciting and maybe a little bit unknown, but that's what makes this such a cool time to be in marketing. We're standing at the edge of something big. Thanks for exploring it with us. We can't wait to see what you all achieve with AI at your side.
We'll see you next time.